Good afternoon, family. What's good? IOBA. I'm TC. So I got to put something to bed right now. I got to end this argument right now. You know what I mean? Because it take a OG sometime to kind of cut through all the bullshit and get right down, cut right to the chase. Because we ain't got the years to waste. We ain't even got the hours to waste sometimes going back and forth and debating on shit that's obvious. Okay, so what I'm talking about? Now, by now, everybody who pay attention to this type of shit, this, black manosphere and being a YouTuber and the black YouTubers, and to name a few names, I'm going to say Jason Black, and I'm going to say O'Shea Duke Jackson, MTI, them groups of people, they all going back and forth. And the question they're going back and forth about is that white girl on the Miss Pearly Things podcast, is she a racist? Well, I'm going to put that shit to bed right now. Yes, she's a racist. She a racist of the highest order. She is a real racist. She might not even be prejudiced, or she might not even be a bigot, but she definitely a racist. I say might not be, because she could be both those things. But she definitely a racist, absolutely without question. She exercising power over some people, calling them her Africans. That's an exhibition of racism. And so yeah, and then she, in this interview, that's what she said in this interview I'm getting ready to talk about with Nick Fuentes, this known self-admitted white supremacist. How does a motherfucker get to be a white supremacist and he only 24 years old? He ain't even figured out how to clean the goddamn smegma off his pecker yet, and he want to call himself a white supremacist. But I digress. And sorry for putting that image in your head, but I'm just saying, dude, awful young. How does he get to be that bad, being that young? Your goddamn brain ain't fully developed yet. And he on Pearly Things podcast talking all of this greasy shit, and she's agreeing with him. She said that she believes that slavery gets embellished. She said, I ain't saying it wasn't bad, or I ain't saying it wasn't horrible. It was, but people try to embellish it so they can control you. Tell me something. What kind of control do black people, especially formerly enslaved black people, have over white people? What kind of control could we exert over them? That's number one. And number two, we ain't even scratching the surface as to how bad the fucking slavery experience was in this country. Chattel slavery. Not just, everyday run-of-the-mill slavery. Chattel slavery. Where you was like a cow or a dog or a pig or a nigger. What? You can't embellish that shit enough. And then she goes on and says some shit about reparations. And she giving these same dumbass motherfucking excuses that we've all beaten down before. Like, who would get reparations? It's lineage based. It's lineage based. Why should we pay for something our forefathers did? Because you signed up to this country, you call this your country, this debt belongs to this country because slavery was sanctioned by the state. Jim Crow was sanctioned by the state. All of these fucking things are debts incurred by the United States government. Not you out your motherfucking pocket, your government. So they need to get on the phone with the Federal Reserve and call them motherfuckers up and tell them to get to printing some goddamn notes. So anyway, those are the fucked up arguments that Pearlie is giving for her talk about how we shouldn't get reparations. The same old dumb arguments that we beat down a million times. And it just get worse from there for her. But she definitely, I mean, seriously, this corn-fed, whiter than white girl has somehow infiltrated the black manosphere up to her goddamn titties. And it's like she diluted something that had the potential to be powerful. Like Malcolm X said, okay, I'm going to quote Malcolm X for y'all. At least that's what I saw in the Spike Lee Malcolm X movie. And I believe I read it in Autobiography of Malcolm X. I read that shit twice. Once when I was 14 and again when I was like 20. Anyway, Malcolm X said, I don't like anything integrated except my coffee. And he was pouring cream in his black coffee and stirring it up. That was the scene from Malcolm X, the movie. And he was drinking it. And I agree with that. You get something strong and black and you want to dilute it, weaken it, you add a little cream to it. Add a little whiteness to it. I remember back in the day when I was in my 20s, I read this book about the planning of the march on Washington where Martin Luther King gave his speech at. And the march at first was supposed to be all black. It was supposed to be this black power thing. And then the march got co-opted. And in come an influx of white liberals who want to stand up for our cause. Next thing you know, you all infiltrated and goddamn diluted, and the whole fucking thing gets weakened, and all the speeches get reduced down to one line: I have a dream. Or one phrase, the content of their character phrase. Anyway, that's what you get when you dilute something that's meant to be black. We got to have our own black movements where we don't care about the money. We don't care about the money. Because all of them coons that was lining up behind Pearly Things, all they was trying to do was feather their own nest. Now, some of them I can understand. Listen, I can understand. You working, you got a job, you paying your bills, you keeping your family fed. I understand that. I overstand that. But some people just trying to get a bag. Some people just trying to feed their family. Some people just trying to ingratiate themselves to her so that they can get money, so that they can make more money, so they can get more clicks, so they can get more views, so they can get more ad dollars, so they can get more whatever. All they cared about was enriching themselves. So I don't have no sympathy for them niggas. There's always going to be coons around that's looking to sell out. That's how white people get in. They fling a few dollars your way. Pearlie had money that she could fling around and give motherfuckers $1,000 here, a couple grand there. Let me pick your brain. Let me talk to you, so she can, gobble up all this information. And then the white girl sit up there and she do it, and she get paid millions of dollars. And then you find out she got connections to national figures like Candace Owens and others, Ben Shapiro. All of these motherfuckers she hooked in with. That's how the movements get co-opted. That's why we don't do nothing but spin our wheels decade in and decade the fuck out. Decade in and decade out. Why? Because you think you can create white allies. You can't. You cannot. We in this fight by ourselves. All we got is us. We have no friends. Just like Dr. John Henry Clark said, you ain't got no fucking friends. And another tidbit, you can't be in the movement, in the real movement for black empowerment, you can't be in it for no money because there ain't no money in it. You can't be in it for the money because there ain't no money in it. Yeah, it takes money to, promote your movement and get your message out there. But as far as making any money and earning a living from trying to promote black empowerment, ain't no money in it. It's about your integrity and the message you're trying to get out there and what you're trying to get through to your people. Yes, Pearly Things is a fucking racist. Full stop. You need to quit fucking with her. If that's how you earn your bread and butter, do what you got to do, but be trying to find your way out. Or do what you got to do, but just know you really are working for a fucking pig racist. Now, a lot of us, myself included, have had to work in places where management was racist. But I knew it. I didn't co-sign any of their shit. I got my paycheck and I left, and the first chance I got the fuck away from them. Because we all have to learn to operate within the greater society, the white supremacist society. Sometimes if you just want to survive, you got to. Until we build a society where we can be completely independent of them. But what happens when we do that? What happens when we do that? When we move completely away from white people and start to set up our own communities. What do? They can't stand it. They can't stand it. They come over to our community, they burn it down, they find a reason to make it illegal, they put a fucking throughway, drop an airport on top of it. They do something. I think I heard that on, I was checking out Professor Black Truth, and he was talking about how they do these neighborhoods. And like he said, that's what he said. Beautiful neighborhoods, what do? They drop an airport on top of it. Eminent domain, motherfucker. You niggas got to go. Every time we do something and it's all black and it's prospering, the white people come in, find a way in through some weak nigga, and next thing you know, the whole movement get co-opted or destroyed. A lot of people really don't know that Black Lives Matter was funded by white people. Neely Fuller, y'all know who Neely Fuller is. If you don't, you need to find out. Neely Fuller says, white people like to take both sides of an argument. That way, whichever side wins, their man is on top. White people take both sides of an argument. If they see a black movement trying to look like it might catch on and gain some momentum, trust and believe they're coming. They either come in themselves, they come bearing gifts, or they'll send in an operative. Somebody who they got by the short and curlies that they can manipulate into your motherfucking organization, into your movement, so that it don't go anyplace. And that's how they control us. Pearly Things, she was the next one. There'll be others. There are others. You know what I mean? Your white boyfriend at work always asking you these dumbass questions. The white girl that's always up in your business. Always just within earshot of what you talking about and all of that. You gotta be careful who the company you keep, and you got to keep white folks out your business. You got to. Any movement, any organization that start up for the next year, 2 years, and in the next 5 years, you got to keep it 100% black, because if you don't, this is what's gonna happen. This kind of shit. Some cracker gonna wind up taking over the whole goddamn thing. And he gonna have a few boot-licking ass niggas backing him or her. And Pearly Things are racist. Goddamn, nigga, is water wet? I guess that's it for now, y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next one. You want some real talk, you want some real motherfucking down-to-earth analysis, come holler at me. Hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll check y'all in the next one. Peace.